It's time to enter the world of real estate with Hawaii's only true real estate show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. Hawaii's premier real estate leaders, Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi, will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, Adrienne and Attilio.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any real estate questions, you can reach us at 633-8633. That's 633-8633. Or you can visit us at teamlally.com, and that's Lally.
I always wondered how it was spelled. Now we know, Lally. Hey, everybody, this is Attilio, coming to you, Maui no Ka'oi. Hey, so, I like this story. I want to tell it again. I was out Jaws surfing 20-foot waves. My tow-in jet ski gal starts asking me a bunch of tax and legal questions. And I said, those are great questions, but I highly recommend you seek the appropriate licensed professional. And then I said, but Mom, keep pulling me into that big wave before I get crushed. And by the way, you should run any of those questions. Those tax questions, go see a CPA, and the legal questions, who are we going to run those by?
You're going to go run them by Kane and Heron, the attorneys with
heart.
Yes.
All right. They're right down the street.
Yes, they are.
They
could walk right over here.
They could walk over here. Sometimes they do, and they're on the show.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we got, this. I like this is the best part of the whole show. It's the quotes.
So here's our quote from Jack Handy.
We got a couple of them. We got 3 of them, 4 of them. Woohoo!
All right, so the face of a child can say it all, especially the mouth part of the face.
That is deep. I have to think about that one for me. So, I got something else to tell you. To me, boxing is like a ballet, except there's no music, no choreography, and the dancers hit each other. What the?
How is that like ballet?
It's like a boxing ballet.
Okay.
It's like when they had football players take ballet lessons. So
remember, kids in the back seat cause accidents. Accidents in the back seat cause kids.
I think, people are listening to this and they're pausing to reflect.
It's deep.
There's the that's like a deep reflection. And then there's huh? That's the other kind of reflection. Last one. Here, I'll let you read the last one.
All right. So if you're a cowboy and you're dragging a guy behind your horse, I bet it would really make you mad if you looked back and the guy was reading a magazine.
Reading a magazine. He was like, dragging behind a horse? No big deal. I'll do this all day long.
What kind of magazine would he be reading?
I don't know. He'd be reading Life.
Or how about
his would be flashing before him right now.
How about the Miracle Morning?
Miracle Morning. So speaking of Miracle Morning, later on in the show, we want to build it up, create some anticipation. Anticipation. What is that? What was that? Heinz commercial? No. Was it ketchup? Okay. It's like ketchup coming out of the bottle. It's all about anticipation. So we are going to have, maybe we should talk to them. It should be a sponsor of our show. The book. What is the title of the book?
It's The Miracle Morning.
And he's got his tagline in here: not so obvious secret guaranteed to transform your life. And we like to add this part in: forever. And then he has in there before 8 a.m.
Yes. This is HAL ELROD.
HAL ELROD, best-selling author of Taking Life Head On. He has a very interesting story. We're not going to tell you what it is. We're going to let him do that later on in the show. Mm-hmm. But this, okay, so that was kind of, okay, so this is the learning part. The whole entire show is the learning part of our show. So I want to talk about, I keep putting this in the notes, but we keep forgetting to, is Brady here?
Yes. So before we talk about the Miracle Morning,
we're going to switch gears. It's so easy.
Yes, we need to talk about the mortgage tip of the day.
Gary, I think, Brady, we're going to do this for you on the next show. I guarantee you. We're going to bring you in with some bumper music. So I'm going to think of some cool theme music to bring you on.
Dancing music?
Yeah. Maybe some Van Halen or something, like Jump.
I can do like cartwheels and, jumping jacks to get pumped up and just get my heart rate up.
Yeah, it's radio. We just tell them you're doing double handsprings and backflips and everything else. So, Brady from Axia Mortgage.
How are
Brady
you guys?
Spangler. What's our mortgage minute? What's our mortgage minute or tip? Meaning of life,
Mortgage
anything,
minute
wherever
or
you want to
tip.
go.
You know, I think since it's tax time, I thought it was very fitting that we talk about, some tax stuff
Okay.
for buyers and verifications and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are very eager to use 2013 taxes because, a lot of people did a lot better in 2013 than they did in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, the way that we verify normal tax returns is through a 4506T, which is a request for your tax transcripts on the IRS's website.
Yes.
Well, since everybody and their mother and brother and cousin and aunt and neighbor is filing their taxes right now, that verification could take up to 60 days right now.
Oh, wow.
So what I want to alert all my clients and prospective buyers is that in lieu of that verification and waiting 60 days,
Yes.
we can verify it two other ways. And one of which is your CPA files it online and gets an electronic verification code from the IRS. It prints out like a little one page, gives it an authorization code that it's been electronically received by the IRS. That's as good as gold. Or you can go into your local, if you're filing self-prepared or you do use TurboTax or anything like that, you can walk into your local IRS office and they stamp the first page, and that's all we need in order to satisfy that condition. And then as soon as we have that stamped first page or that electronic verification code, then it's like us getting that verification off the IRS's website instead of waiting for 60 days. So it's a timing issue, and a lot of people don't understand that, as opposed to waiting till your check clears or your refund comes. I mean, that could take forever. So I think that's a benefit, that to eliminate 60 days off of underwriting.
Sure.
That's a great tip. I don't think I think that we've had transactions that have been held up due to this 4506T and having to verify. So,
in the words of Ed McMahon,
yes,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't really know that.
Yeah, but that's only around tax time, right? That's not normally during the rest of the year?
Yeah, it's only around tax time. I mean,
Okay.
and it's all the way, obviously, personal returns through April 15th and extensions after October 15th. So, I mean, anytime you want to verify it, other than that, we're waiting the 60 days. But once you get farther away from tax time, the verification could be as little as, 15 to 30 days. So that's always a good tip there. And really another quick tip is the misconception people have on paying off credit cards monthly.
Yes.
When you go into application, the first thing I'm going to do in a pre-approval is I'm going to pull your credit. And regardless of, everybody says, well, I have no debt because I pay my credit cards off monthly. Well, in a lending transaction, we pull a credit report. And that minute that the credit report is pulled, that credit report stays with you throughout the transaction. So unless, in that physical second, your balances are all zeros,
yes,
we're going to pull a balance. And in order to avoid that, you can either order a rapid rescore, which is getting a zero balance letter from your creditor, and we update your report for 3 to 5 days, or just not using your card for a 2 to 4 week period if you're getting into the loan process. So that's another tip that people really don't understand, because they'll say, why did you pull a balance? Well, your credit card statement isn't reported by the second, on the hour, every time you pay it off instantly. So that's another quick tip for people out there. If you need that extra income, and you don't want to pull a high credit card payment.
So that credit card balance, what is that, affecting their debt ratio? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, basically, so if you pay, and this is huge for Amex accounts.
Yep.
So Amex very seldomly does an Amex account pull a monthly payment. Your monthly payment is going to be the balance.
Yeah.
So if you've got a $2,500 payment, your credit statement is going to say a $2,500 payment for that actual month. So that negatively affects them. I mean, we can get that updated, but even if you have a $10,000 balance on a Citi card with like a $400 payment, if you're paying that off every month, that doesn't matter. We can't prove that. We can only show what that report is at that given time.
What if your Amex monthly statement is more in the range of a small down payment for a condo?
That's what mine is.
You've probably got a really high payment, but one good thing is, and not to get off the subject, but have business cards
Yep.
that are tied to you personally,
Uh-huh.
and we can show 12 months canceled checks or 12 months proof that you've been paying them through your business,
Yes.
then we can eliminate those debt payments from your personal side.
From your calculations, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. You know, I wanted to go back to that W. What is it? I forgot what the form is. We always said that.
4506?
Yeah, 4506 is the. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's the reason why you guys need that is sometimes there's the tax return that people put into the IRS, and then there's the tax return that they hand to you. They might be two different ones.
It's just a little checks and balances.
Yeah.
You know, and it's huge because the lender wants to verify the return that you've given us is the exact return that the IRS has on file.
Yeah.
And they're going to prove that via the bottom line in a tax transcript. So that's the way to get that's the way they verify it.
All right. Well, Brady, thank you so much for calling in with these excellent tips.
My brain is full now with mortgage tips.
Real quick, could you give us your website and the best phone number to
My
contact
website
you?
is www.thehonestbanker.com, and you can reach me on my cell phone at 808-264-3798.
That's 264-3798. Thanks so much, Brady.
Thanks,
Thank
Brady.
you, guys.
All right.
We recommend Fidelity National Title Insurance Company for your next real estate transaction.
Through its nationwide network of direct operations and agents, Fidelity National Title provides title insurance, underwriting, escrow, and closing services to consumers.
Check them out at fidelitynationaltitle.com or fntic.com.
When you're trying to find the best of the best, don't settle for an agent that's just like the rest. Pick a team that knows just what to do. From buying or selling, we work hard for you. Team Lally, the best real estate in the islands. 227-2703.
Tired of waiting 2 or 3 months to finalize your home loan or refinance? Maui's Axia Home Loans has a turnaround time of 30 days or less by processing your loans locally.
Take advantage of today's low interest rates by calling our good friend Brady Spangler of Axia Home Loans. His personal cell is 264-3798. That's 264-3798. You know what I like about Axia?
What do you like about Axia?
Well, they're committed to creating sustainable home ownership through responsible lending. Hawaii NMLS ID number 27830.
Let me ask you something. Do problems come to mind before opportunities when thinking about real estate? Well, here's a unique proposition for you then. It's from Adrienne, Lally, and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally. What they do is they offer a no-obligation guarantee. If they don't do their job, you're free to get out of the contract. But don't worry, you won't want to, because Adrienne and Attilio are going to sit down with you, establish a price and deadline to sell your home. If that deadline passes and your home isn't sold, they're going to go right ahead and buy your home. Check out the success story. A seller was foreclosed on due to falling behind maintenance fee payments. The seller felt pretty hopeless, but Team Lally got the home into escrow. The seller was freed from debt in 30 days, and the bank gave him an incentive for the trouble. Sellers love these guys. So call the only agents willing to earn your business every single day. Adrienne Lally, Attilio Leonardi, and her team. It's 633-8633. 633-8633. And you can also check them out online at guaranteedsale.com.
When buying, selling, or owning a home, we suggest that you have a home warranty from Home Warranty America. Avoid faulty appliances in your next real estate transaction.
Team Lally offers free seller's coverage on all our homes. Give us a call at 799-9596 so we can tell you how that works.
Hi, I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
When we work with you as a client, we want to focus on what,
Your real estate goals are and help you reach them.
but don't take our word for it.
Here's a happy Team Lally client.
With Team Lally, it was a different experience because she and Attilio understood what me and my husband were looking to do and which house we were interested in, and they didn't try to pressure us to look at anything else. They were just understanding, and they said, okay, if this is the house that you want, then we'll wait it out and see what happens. So I think we waited about seven months or so, and finally, the transaction and everything went through, and we got the house that we wanted. So they're very professional, very knowledgeable, very respectful, and just a delight to work with.
Open Gangnam Style.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or We'll Buy It. I'm Adrienne,
And I'm Attilio.
and today we're talking about the miracle morning.
The Miracle Morning, the not so obvious secret guaranteed to transform your life. And I'm going to add this part, forever. So we got Hal on the line. Hal, are you there?
I am here. Thanks so much for having me. This is an honor and a pleasure.
I'm telling you, people, the listeners, you don't realize it was like I was reading a Stephen King novel, and then I emailed Stephen King, and he said, I'll come on the show. That's how excited we are. It's like I'm reading this book, and I sent an email, and here's Hal on the show. Is that awesome or what? I think it is.
I'm excited.
You're excited?
I think it is too. I agree that it is awesome.
You know what?
We made this happen.
Hal, this is a true testament to your servant heart, and so we appreciate you coming on the show. Have you been to Maui before?
I have not. It's one place I have. My sister's been to Hawaii, and my mom, and I think
wow.
my dad, and everybody's been except for me. I have not yet been to Hawaii.
Well, hey, tell you what, we got we'll take you to dinner if you ever show up, and bring the wife and kids if you got them, and
yeah, you got
we'll
'em.
show you a good time, and we'll teach you how to surf. Do you know how to surf?
I've surfed a few times, but I wouldn't say I know how.
All right, so Hal, we're a real estate show, but we're just like any other professionals, we're always, what are we doing with why are we reading books, Adrienne?
Because we want to improve ourselves and then to better serve our clients and our family. And
yeah, we'll tell you a quick story of how we got your book, and then we want you to tell us your story. Nothing better than the author to tell their story, but
sure.
Isaac?
Well, at first it started at Recruit Select, which is a Keller Williams training, and we met Isaac, who is a Cutco salesperson and coach.
Yep.
Sure, Isaac Stegman, absolutely.
Yeah, and he said, I'm going to give you this book.
Well, no, it got better. He came out to Hawaii. Isaac came out to Hawaii.
He delivered the book.
He delivered the Cutco and the book, and then he even came to your Christmas party.
Oh, yeah, Isaac came to my house.
Nice. That's service.
Yeah, I'm telling you, service with a smile. It's bent over backwards there. So I just finished my first reading, and by the way, on good books, I read them multiple times and highlight them and make notes. And Adrienne's busting my chops because I didn't make highlights the first time around. But I have
highlights.
I have. I go back
folded.
and I'll be reading this book over and over and over and over and over. So, Hal, tell us again. Give us the title of this book and tell us your story. How did this all come about?
Yeah, the title of the book is The Miracle Morning, the not so obvious secret guaranteed to transform your life before 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, anyone that's listening, I don't know if you know this, but your listeners, I have a special gift for them. They can go get 2 free chapters of the book at miraclemorning.com. So if you're, if they want to buy it, of course they can go to Amazon. But if you want to just, try it out and see if these 2 crazy radio hosts are exaggerating or if it really will change your life. So my story, it really goes back to when I was 19 years old. I had started in sales, actually, selling Cutco. Believe it or not, I don't know if you guys know that, but, my background is actually, I started when I was in college selling Cutco, and I broke, my first 10 days, I broke the all-time record, sold $15,000 worth of Cutco, and broke this company record, and kind of set my life on a different path. I never planned on being in sales, and I really found it inspirational and motivational, and kind of to be able to be my own kind of my own boss. And I fast forward a year and a half, and I was driving home after giving a motivational speech to a group of college students, and I was driving home in my brand new Ford Mustang when I was actually hit head-on by a drunk driver at 70 miles an hour, and sent me into oncoming traffic, and another car T-boned me and hit me in the door at 70 miles an hour, and I actually broke 11 bones, was dead for 6 minutes, and 6 days later came out of a coma to be told by doctors that I would probably never walk again, and I had permanent brain damage. And that was, I call that my first rock bottom. It was a time in my life where I just couldn't imagine that, what they were telling me was true, and I really decided that I wasn't going to accept it as truth, and I was going to maintain faith in myself and in God and the ability to overcome anything. And 3 weeks later, I took my first step. 4 weeks later, I left the hospital and against doctor's orders actually went back to work, and eventually went on to to really prove that we can overcome any limitation. I decided to run an ultra marathon. So I ran a 52-mile ultra marathon just for the dynamic of going from being told I would never walk again to go, hey, this is what's really possible when we put our mind to it. And so I ran that, and then I wrote my first book, and I did some, started being a college speaker back. This was 8 years ago, and then I hit my second rock bottom, which was surprisingly worse than the first. And I wasn't wasn't in sort of physical accident, but when the U.S. economy crashed in 2008, 2009, my business failed. I lost my house. I was deep in debt and really deeply depressed, and needing a change in my life to turn it around. I took the advice of a friend and went for a run. And on this run, I had this idea. I thought, you know what, if I want my life to be different, and everyone hopefully gets this because it's true for all of us, if we want our lives to be different, we have to be willing to do something different first. And I decided that I was going to wake up an hour earlier than I had to, which most of us, we waste the morning. But I decided I would use the morning to become physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually stronger, so that I could turn my situation around. And within 2 months of doing my morning routine, which was not called the Miracle Morning back then, it was just my own little morning routine, I had doubled my income. I went from being out of shape to beginning to get in the best shape of my life, and turn my business around, and everything just, it happened so quickly that I started calling my morning routine the Miracle Morning, and now tens of thousands of people around the world have bought the book. And, just like you, I'm so humbled and grateful, but people are, they swear that this is the thing that has changed their life more than anything else has. And so it's really, I'm humbled and grateful that I was, the conduit to bring this message to people.
So we got some questions for you. So here's the recap, folks. He's sitting in the hospital on death's bed, and the doctor says you're never going to walk, and you get him. You say, "No, doc. Here is a warm cup of shut the hell up. I am going to walk. I am going to walk, and I am the boss of me. You're not the boss of me." And I love it. And you came back, and that's I'm reading the story, and I'm talking about this, and I'm spitting all over the microphone right now. So excited about it. Wow. And so we're like, man, if this guy, I've emailed other people to come out. We had one lady she was a gypsy. She was like a preacher, and she lived out of her car for the last year, but she didn't come on the show. But anyway, we got. She didn't respond to the email. Too bad. But you know what? So we're excited about having you on the show. We got some questions. Adrienne, what's the first question?
All right. So speaking of changing your life forever, you have an email that you talk about in your book that will change your life forever. Could you tell us more about that, and how did you come up with that?
Yeah. It's at the end of the book. It's called, it's a bonus, if you will, the email that will change your life. And it's, for me, at one point, and this was in the middle of my rock bottom. So it was after my accident, 5 years after my accident, but before my big fall from grace, if you will. Just one night I was at this time I was living with a friend, renting a room in his house, and just fed up with my level of mediocrity that I had been accepting for myself, just knowing that I was not living to my full potential, not really in at least not my career and not in my finances. And one day I decided to email, I think 23 of people that knew me in different capacities, my upper region and executive managers in my company, my friends, my family, my ex-girlfriends, you name it. I went for the full spectrum, and I just asked them, hey, I really know that I need to grow and improve as a person, but we're all limited in how, our perspective on ourselves. I said, so if you could please email me back and let me know what you think I can do to really, what areas do I need to improve on? You're not going to hurt my feelings. And I got, 11 emails out of the 23 back, and I think I grew more in the next 24 to 48 hours reading those emails. I think I had more self-awareness and grew more as a person than in the last 5 or 10 years combined. And so I took that email and I scripted it out and I put it in the book, and it's pretty amazing. It takes a lot of courage to send it. I'll be honest. I think everyone that sends it, it's like they really got to pretty courageous. But I take the work out of having to figure out what to say for you, and then you send it out to people that you know in different capacities, and it's amazing. Everyone that emails me back says, "Hal, I sent that email, and oh my gosh, the responses. Some of them were hard to take, but I'll tell you what, I feel like I'm really ready to go to the next level in my life."
So that's miraclemorning.com. And I'm telling the listeners, you know what? Forget the two free chapters. Go to Amazon.com and order the book. Come on.
It's worth it. Yeah. It will change your life forever.
It will. And I'm telling you right now. Okay, so Hal, we got to take a quick break, but we're going to bring you back at the break because we got more questions for you.
Sounds great.
All right, hang in there. Thank you.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Harley Carnes. Baseball Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner has died. He hit 369 homers in just 10 years and played for the Pirates, the Cubs, and the Indians. He broadcast New York Mets games since the Mets began. Fellow broadcaster Gary Cohen on SNY.
He was the kind of person who you were always comfortable in the presence of, despite the fact that he was a towering giant of his generation.
Fellow Hall of Famer Tommy Lasorda talked to CBS News just minutes ago.
He was a great hitter, no question about it. And it was a funny thing about him is the people, if he had his last at bat, in the ninth inning or even in the eighth inning, people left the ballpark. But if he had a chance to hit, they stayed till he hit.
For more than half a century.
He was a tremendous guy. He was a great friend. He was an outstanding sportscaster for many years, well loved by everybody.
Ralph Kiner was 91. CBS News.
We recommend Fidelity National Title Insurance Company for your next real estate transaction.
Through its nationwide network of direct operations and agents, Fidelity National Title provides title insurance, underwriting, escrow, and closing services to consumers.
Check them out at fidelitynationaltitle.com or fntic.com.
When you're trying to find the best of the best, don't settle for an agent that's just like the rest. Pick a team that knows just what to do. From buying or selling, we work hard for you. Team Lally, the best real estate in the islands. 227-2703.
Are you confused, even frightened when thinking about real estate? Well, here's a unique proposition for you. It's from Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally. What they do is they offer a no-obligation guarantee. If they don't do their job, you're free to get out of the contract. Simple as that. But don't worry, you won't want to, because Adrienne and Attilio are going to sit down with you, establish a price and a deadline to sell your home. If that deadline passes and your home isn't sold, they'll buy your home. Check out this success story. A short sale referred to Team Lally by another agent had 3 liens, including a federal tax lien. The owner was a year behind on payments and facing foreclosure. Well, the team negotiated with all the lien holders, got a $25,000 incentive for the first lien. Sellers love these guys. So call the only agents that are willing to earn your business every single day. That's Adrienne Lally, Attilio Leonardi, and her team. That number is 633-8633. That number again, 633-8633. And you can also check them out online at guaranteedsale.com.
Hi, I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful.
We know that having a plan of action eliminates the stress.
And that's what we do. Get rid of the stress.
Here's one of our clients.
I think really the key to their success is the way they're able to communicate with their customers. I didn't have that the last time I used a realtor.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or We'll Buy It. I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
And today we're talking with HAL ELROD, author of The Miracle Morning.
Well, Hal, can you tell we got a little bit different real estate show here? We got Missy E bringing us back from the break.
I love it.
But anyway, so we got some more questions for you. So for you listeners out there, maybe you were doing something else. What the heck were you doing? You should have been listening to the show. But if you just tuned in, Adrienne, who do we have on the show?
We have HAL ELROD, author of The Miracle Morning. You can go check it out at themiraclemorning.com.
No, wait, is there a the, or is it just miraclemorning.com?
Miraclemorning.com is where you can get the 2 free chapters of the book. But Artilio, I like what you said. Just go to Amazon.
Just buy the book.
But if anything, go to Amazon and read the reviews. I'm as an author, you're obsessed. You refresh Amazon like 3 times a day. Mm-hmm. And so I just, as of this morning, the 249th review was posted, 5 stars, and an average of 4.8 out of 5 stars. So I always say, don't take my word for it, but the large majority of people are having the same response that you guys are, and just really. I'm
going to tell the listeners again, forget the reviews. Get your Visa, MasterCard, American Express out and just fill the information in and hit order.
Yeah, I think there was only like 1 grumpy review, and I'm like, oh, that guy just obviously didn't know what he was reading.
Yeah.
I know. The grumpy reviews.
There was just one of them.
Yeah, there's only a couple, but no, thank you. I need you guys to be my promoters. You're awesome.
I tell you, we're gonna put this all over Facebook, and by the way, our team, and we have high production. We're going 100 miles per hour. As a team, we read books together, and this is going to be.
This is the next book.
This is the next book. Right now, we're winning How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. We actually read that one once a year, but you're our next book.
Oh, I'm so honored, and that is very exciting. And what else was I going to say to you? I don't remember.
What?
But yeah. I was going to say the mission is, the mission has become with me, and I've got a kind of a team now of people that have attracted, that believe so much in the Miracle Morning, that but on their own accord they've reached out to want to support it. And so our goal now is to get it in the hands of 1 million people this year, and then I'm going to donate $1 from each book. So it's $1 million donated to charity. That's kind of the Miracle Morning mission for 2014.
Oh, wow.
I have a favorite nonprofit organization. It's white kids without iPads. And no, I'm just kidding. I got that one from Saturday Night Live. But anyway, okay. So the questions we have for you, do you know what that one is? Because I was going to ask him that one.
So what is your wake up and start time?
Yeah, what is it for you?
Yeah, so my wake up time is 3:30 a.m.
Woo! Wow.
And I always give the disclaimer that not to confuse people to think that that's when the Miracle Morning begins. The Miracle Morning is different for everybody. Some people it's 6 a.m., some it's 8 a.m. It just basically is. It depends on when you wake up now. But I wake up at 3:30 a.m. and I usually go to bed at 9:30 p.m. So I try to get 6 hours of sleep. Occasionally, I'll read my daughter a story and fall asleep with her at like 8:30, which is really my dream way to fall asleep, just right next to her in bed. But on average, it's 9:30 at night.
Well, I know I sent you the email late, so my wake up time was 6 a.m. yesterday.
Yeah,
I've still been up. I haven't gone to sleep yet. No, no. So
he's not joking. He's not joking. Slept.
And you know what? And people, it's so funny because I was watching a couple of your videos, and you were talking about how we are as kids before Christmas.
Yeah.
And people ask me, Tilly, you're nuts. How can you stay up? I'm like, because I'm thinking like tomorrow's Christmas, but my problem is I do that every day.
Yeah.
Which is not a problem. It's a good thing. It's
a good thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
No. So the wake up thing, what I wanted, you said in the book, how I wanted to get it out of you was like people work different shifts. So they're not necessarily getting up in the morning, but I wanted to clarify with you since I got you on the phone. You're saying the first part of whenever their day starts, you want to make that Miracle Morning part of the beginning part of their day. Is that what you were meaning?
That's exactly it. I mean, the Miracle Morning, I was on a call the other day, and I said something, and it was just a real simple way of kind of explaining the Miracle Morning, and somebody came back to me later that's a fan of Miracle Morning. He said, I love what you said, and it was simply that the Miracle Morning is a way to take you to the next level in any area of your life faster than you ever thought possible.
Yes.
So whether it's your career, whether it's your health, whether it's I just had a 19-year-old, I was almost in tears because he was almost in tears. I was speaking at a conference last week, and this 19-year-old young man came to me and said, Hal, I used to suffer from major depression and anxiety, and because of the Miracle Morning, I've got both totally under control, and I can't thank you enough. I mean, it was just so powerful, So whatever area of your life you want to take to the next level, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, relationally, spiritually, you name it, the Miracle Morning is about starting your day in a way that gets that going, that accelerates that process. And if you nail the first hour of your day, it's kind of hard to have a bad day.
It is. And for the people that are listening, we're not getting any commissions, there's no royalties or anything on any of this. This is seriously, sincerely from our heart.
And this is about getting that $1 million to charity.
Giving that $1 million. Yeah. Go order the dang book. You know what? If you're a company owner, you should be ordering one for every single one of your employees. If your company's not doing well, I mean, we do it in our team, and we're the top real estate company in the state, and it's all about the books you read. So that leads me to my next question that we have for you. And what is that question?
So what kind of books are you currently reading, Hal?
Ooh, great question. A book that I recently read that really, it was one of my favorite financial books, in terms of any book I've ever read on money. It's called The Millionaire Fast Lane. Mm-hmm. And very popular as well. I mean, if you go on Amazon, it's got the majority of really high ratings. But Millionaire Fastlane by M.J. DeMarco, that was a really cool book. And then one book that that I always recommend if anybody who is in a romantic relationship,
Yes.
whether you are married or you want to get married, It's this book called The Mastery of Love.
Okay.
The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz, same gentleman that wrote The Four Agreements. And it was the book that when my wife and I were first dating, and the first time she ever came over to my house, and she was looking at my books, and she goes, it was so weird, of all the books on the shelf, she picks that one up. She goes, what's this book about? I said, that's the book that the woman that I eventually marry will have to have read and agreed with and been on the same page, because that's my philosophy on love and relationships and caring for other people more than you care for yourself. And and so she goes, can I borrow it? And she read it that weekend, and now we have 2 kids. So
awesome.
I highly recommend that book.
Now, what if you have what if you don't get out much and you've got a goiter the size of a football in your neck? Will that work for you? No, I'm just kidding.
I think it will.
It still will work for you because it's about what's inside. So, and then we got, okay, how about that one? You want to ask him that one?
And what is your diet like, Hal?
We're just curious. What do you eat?
Ooh, that is a can of worms. I'm so passionate about health that I could talk for a long time on. So I am what I call a mostly vegan.
Okay.
Meaning, I went through a time in my life where I was completely vegan.
Yes.
And then I went actually completely raw, which meant, vegan and uncooked. So all the food I ate was living. It was nothing in a can, nothing in a box, nothing even cooked over 105 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And I was really extreme for a long time. And I'm glad that I was, because I really saw the benefits in terms of my increase in energy and all of those other things and not getting sick. And then I came to a happy medium, and I go, you know what? If you eat a really clean diet, it's not an all or nothing proposition.
Yes.
You could have a hamburger every once in a while. You could have some pizza every once in a while. You could have some ice cream. So I literally eat anything and everything. It's just very rare that I eat, any meat, dairy, fast food, fried food.
Yep.
But the beauty of it is, then you never feel guilty when you do it. I love indulging, once a month in something that I would never normally eat on a regular basis, because I don't feel guilty, because I know that I've got such a
Well, by the way, we only had 2 guests on today's show, and you're the second one that's a vegan. The first one was a vegan too. That's our loan officer,
That's a sign.
our mortgage
That's a sign.
broker.
Yeah, Brady Spangler.
Brady Spangler,
and
vegan.
He's a very strict vegan.
Oh yeah, he's super strict vegan.
Like, he just made up his mind, and then that was it. Done.
He's like, oh, there's nothing on this menu. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to eat the menu. No.
No, he would not.
No.
like when I go to someone's, for example, I go to somebody's home and they made a meal and it has meat in it. I would rather. My philosophy is I'd rather eat the love and energy that they put into making that meal for us than worry. So.
And that's the true definition of grace. Awesome. And so, so I got this other question. Are you still running these crazy double marathons, or what's?
No, not at all.
You came to your senses. You're like, what the?
Yeah, whenever someone introduces me as he's an ultra marathon runner, I say that's deceiving. That sounds like I've done it more than once. It was a bucket list item. I checked it off. And it was the worst day of my life, and kind of the best in some ways. And I will never do it again.
Did you do a marathon before you did this ultra marathon, or how did you prepare?
I never ran more than a mile before I did the ultra marathon, or before I started to train for it. But I hated running, and that was one of the biggest things. Is I look at a lot of things in life like this where I hated running, and so I thought, man, what kind of person, how would I have to develop myself to be at a different level than I am now, mentally, physically, emotionally, to do this? So I took it on as a challenge to raise money. It was raising money for my friend's charity, the Front Row Foundation. They send people with life-threatening illnesses to the front row of their favorite event, and I'm a big believer in what they do. And so I wanted to raise money for it, and I was originally going to run like a 3K, and then I thought, that's so wimpy, that's not impressive, And then it was a marathon, and then I thought, I've got a couple friends that ran ultras, and if I told them that I just ran a marathon, they'd be rousing me and giving me a bad time, and so I decided, hey, if I could run 26, I could run 52. So
I know, because I've run one marathon. Adrienne, she runs them every year, but I know it's like once you do it once, you're kind of like, okay, whatever, 6 miles, things like that. But it's like your brain clicks over.
The first time I ran a marathon, I didn't realize that I wasn't prepared, because my friend told me, she goes, oh, well, if you could do a half marathon, you could do a full marathon, no problem. So I just believed her. And,
if you
can
do a half marathon, you can just run across the United States.
I was walking funny for a couple weeks after that first marathon and not really preparing.
I always
properly.
say that's that fine line between optimism and delusion that we cross often, right?
So here's our other deal here, because we're going to come to another break, but I want to squeeze in one more question, then we'll bring you back and ask you even more questions.
Right.
Real quick, what's your very next speaking engagement? Do you have something coming up?
My next speaking engagement, I think it's coming up in Wisconsin. Speaking out at a college in Wisconsin that I have spoken at once or twice before, and they're bringing me back.
And if they want to see where you're speaking at and check your schedule, is it what's the website for that?
My schedule is on HALElrod.com. So if you go to my website, HALElrod.com, HALELROD, that's got all sorts of free videos. My podcast is really, I've been getting some amazing feedback. It's called Achieve Your Goals with HAL ELROD. And you can access all my former podcast episodes there and a bunch of TV interviews, videos, all sorts of fun stuff.
Well, Hal, can you hang on for a little bit more and we bring you back and ask you a couple more questions?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Hal.
When you're trying to find the best of the best, don't settle for an agent that's just like the rest. Pick a team that knows just what to do. From buying or selling, we work hard for you. Team Lally, the best real estate in the islands. 227-2703.
Tired of waiting 2 or 3 months to finalize your home loan or refinance? Maui's Axia Home Loans has a turnaround time of 30 days or less by processing your loans locally.
Take advantage of today's low interest rates by calling our good friend Brady Spangler of Axia Home Loans. His personal cell is 264-3798. That's 264-3798. You know what I like about Axia?
What do you like about Axia?
Well, they're committed to creating sustainable home ownership through responsible lending. Hawaii NMLS ID number 27830.
Do problems come to mind before opportunities when thinking about real estate? Well, I have a very unique proposition for you. It's from Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally. What they do is they offer a no-obligation guarantee. If they haven't done their job, you're free to get out of the contract. Pretty simple. But don't worry, you won't want to, because Adrienne and Attilio are going to sit down with you, establish a price and a deadline to sell your home. If that deadline passes and your home isn't sold, they'll buy your home. Check out this success story. There was a condo listed by Team Lally, and after just 2 days on the market, the team had 2 full-price cash offers. Even better, the condo closed in just 10 days. 10 days. The sellers really love these guys. So call the only agents willing to earn your business every single day. Adrienne Lally, Attilio Leonardi, and her team. That number is 633-8633. 633-8633. And you can also find them online at guaranteedsale.com.
Hi, I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful.
We know that having a plan of action eliminates the stress.
And that's what we do. Get rid of the stress.
Here's one of our clients.
I think really the key to their success is the way they're able to communicate with their customers. I didn't have that the last time I used a realtor.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or We'll Buy It. I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
And we're talking with HAL ELROD, author of The Miracle Morning.
Yes, before 8 a.m.
Yes.
Hal, page 96 of the book, you've got this thing about the lifesavers. Tell us about that acronym, SAVERS.
So yeah, when I started doing the Miracle Morning, my first day, it basically was this wasn't a big to do, right? It wasn't an idea for anything. It was just like, okay, I've got to wake up earlier and I got to work on myself and become a better version of myself. And I thought, what am I going to do? So I kind of Googled personal development practices and personal development habits, and I was trying to kind of get a list of different things I could choose from for my morning routine to better myself. And I wrote down affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, journaling, and I'm missing one other one. I'll think of it in a second.
Silence.
But and meditation.
Yep.
And I wrote all those down, and I thought, okay, there's like a buffet of, those are all the best of personal development practices. And a lot of really successful, even famous people swear by any one of those. Will Smith says personal affirmations, the way that he's talked to himself, are responsible for his success in life, and he thinks it is for all of our success. Jim Carrey talked about visualization being the key to him getting his first $10 million check. He wrote it, he visualized it. So I thought, okay, I was trying to decide which of these I would do, and then I thought, what if I do all 6 of them? This is like personal development on steroids. What if I do all 6 of them, 10 minutes each for an hour? So that was my first miracle morning, and it's been the same miracle morning, ever since. And within 2 months of doing these lifesavers, and I'll explain the acronym here in a sec, but that's where I doubled my income, got in the best, all of those things. And it was when I was writing the book that I started to notice a pattern in the first letter of each of the words, and I was able to form an acronym to make this really memorable.
Mm-hmm.
So the word SAVERS is the acronym. The S is for silence. So I start my miracle morning, unlike most people that are, chaotic in the morning, trying to get out of the house, get the kids ready, whatever.
Yes.
Wait until the last minute, hit the snooze button, wake up and go. Start the day with silence, whether that's meditation or prayer or just sitting in silence, right? So the A is for affirmations. So self-affirmations, creating written statements that exemplify not who you've been in the past or your limitations, but what you're capable of being and becoming in your life, so you can start living into the vision you have for your best self. The V is for visualization, the E is for exercise, the R is for reading, and the final S is for scribing. And scribing is just a fancy word for writing, which is really about, journaling and taking note of the things you're grateful for, making, journaling what you're committed to doing that day, what your priorities are, that sort of thing. So those are the lifesavers, and that's the kind of the basis of the miracle morning.
I was you said scribing, and I'm reading it, and that's how it's pronounced. But I kept in my head I was saying scribbling.
That's kind of what your handwriting looks like.
Yeah, no.
I was going to say that probably is. Yeah,
my 5-year-old in the morning he grabs scratch paper and we call it scribble school. But anyway, I like that because I like the part here. People think they got to go like exercise for like 2 hours every day and become Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the time that you have allocated for that is like 20 minutes. And you talked about something else too. I don't know, was it in your book that you talked about like, instead of taking a break on Saturday and Sunday, just do it every day?
Yeah, I mean, when I started it, and this seems to be the common theme for everybody that does the Miracle Morning, is often you'll start taking the weekends off just because, and then what happens is, and you guys know this from experience, that on the days you do the Miracle Morning, you feel so energized, you feel so inspired, you feel so motivated, so empowered. Then the days where you sleep in, you feel like you just wasted the most valuable part of your day doing nothing, right? Laying there unconscious instead of getting motivated, inspired, energized, etc. So yeah, most people start out with 5 days a week, then they go to 6, and then most end up at 7. You just find out that you have so much more of all the things that we all want. We all want more energy. We all want more inspiration. We all want more motivation. And when you realize that how you spend that first 30 to 60 minutes of your day is ultimately what creates that for you, you find that it doesn't make sense to skip that anymore.
Well, I like and you come up with these simple things. Like one of my favorites was like sleeping in and then eating 8 ding-dongs when you get up. No, that wasn't it. It was...
I'm like, I don't remember that from the book. But...
No, it wasn't that. I'm creating a memory hook. It was so simple. Right when you get up, drink a glass of water.
Yeah.
Or 2.
I didn't even think about that because I get up and I go running and I'm thinking like, man, I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
Then I read your book.
It's one of the reasons for people to be fatigued throughout the day in the morning is dehydration. And when you wake up in the morning, first thing, you're dehydrated by default because you haven't drinking water for 6 to 8 hours.
Well, you know what? And then so talk about the things. You have these things like, what did you say? Like brush your teeth. We appreciate that at the office if you do brush your teeth before coming in. But there was all these like little things. Drink the glass of water, brush your teeth. What else was it?
Yeah, so there's a chapter that you're referring to in the book called the 5-Step Snooze-Proof Wake-Up Strategies for the Snoozeaholics.
Yep.
And yeah, it's basically the idea that a good morning starts with preparation, and it starts the night before.
Yes.
And so there's the bedtime affirmations, which, when somebody reads the book, there's a link where they can get the bedtime affirmations, which are basically programming your subconscious mind for success while you sleep, so that when the alarm goes off, you're feeling excited to wake up. And that's where I use the Christmas comparison is, if you celebrated Christmas when you were a kid growing up, or, if you didn't celebrate Christmas, but you can relate to maybe going on a vacation, what ends up happening is you're so excited the night before you go to bed that as soon as the alarm clock goes off, your eyes burst open and you jump out of bed. And I realized that we can recreate that intentionally every single day. And that's what you were talking about earlier, making every day of our lives feel like Christmas. So there's the bedtime affirmations. And when the second thing is the alarm clock has to be across the room. If it's right next to your bedside table, then you're going to halfway asleep, turn it off at the snooze button, and keep going to sleep. Motion creates energy, though, so the next step is you got to have the alarm clock across the room, and now when it goes off, you're already out of bed. You're already halfway to making that decision to wake up for the day. And then you got the brush teeth, wash face, and then down that full glass of water to rehydrate, and now you're ready for your miracle morning.
Now, by the way, folks, in the next edition, he's also adding step number 6. Hit yourself in the head with a ball-peen hammer. No,
yes,
how about a Nerf bat?
Nerf bat.
That would be friendlier.
Get your kids to hit you with a Nerf bat. You don't get out of bed, hitting you with the Nerf bat. But no, those are like the point in being, and we have that sense of humor, is that they're simple things, and people need to realize, I mean, thinking about it is like, you do this and you double your income. No, folks, this is not Amway. It's a book with information that you need to execute on, and it's so simple. Adrienne, what else?
Oh, so Hal, are you working on any other books right now?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Miracle Morning became the Miracle Morning book series, which then transformed into the Miracle book series. And so right now we've got a few other books being written. With my background being in sales, we're writing the Miracle Salesperson.
Okay.
And the tagline is the not-so-obvious success secrets of the top 1%. So it was originally going to be the Miracle Morning for salespeople, and we've also got the Miracle Realtor. It was going to be the Miracle Morning for realtors. But as I started really diving in and talking to highly successful people, I realized that their morning routine is a big part of their success, but it wasn't the only part. And so I decided to expand it and interview these miracle realtors, these miracle salespeople, and I define a miracle, performer as someone who performs at a level where most people it looks like a miracle. That the rest of their company is looking at them going, man, how do they perform it? Create these miracles week in and week out, year in and year out. So it's finding out what they do and to be highly successful. So, and then there's one book in my heart that I have started, but I'm not sure when I'll finish and come out with it. It's called The Miracle Equation, and it's kind of the formula that I used when I was in sales to break all those sales records that people can apply to their life to achieve extraordinary results on a consistent basis.
Well, I predict you're going to be a multimillionaire because it's right up there with them idiot series like Salesmanship for Idiots, but you have it's a much more positive spin by saying miracle salesman.
Sure.
Miracle executive, and just you're going to have the Miracle series, and it's going to go to a major motion picture film.
Yeah.
And we're speaking it. You're going to be, you're going to be on the major networks. You're going to have your own show. Oprah is going to want to interview you. Has Oprah interviewed you?
Oprah has not. No, Oprah has not.
She lives on Maui.
Yeah, maybe she's listening.
Yeah.
So, if Oprah wants to get a hold of Hal.
Oprah, if you're listening to our show and you want to get a hold of Hal, go to his website, which is again?
HalElrod.com. And or you can get 2 free chapters of the Miracle Morning at miraclemorning.com. That's miraclemorning.com. Or take our Attilio's advice and go to Amazon.com. And
just order the book.
Just order it.
Just order it. Well, Hal, thank you so much. We're coming to the close of our show. We appreciate you so much.
Yes, thank you. And
thank you for having me. I mean, really, 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 this means a lot. I feel like the Miracle Morning is the greatest gift that I have to give to the world, and so anytime I can share it with new people that haven't heard about it, I really look at it as a great opportunity and a gift as well. So thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Hal.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Denise Cahill with Hawaii Escrow and Title.
Brady Spangler, Axia Home Loans.
Matt Fortier with Fidelity National Title.
Todd Bedford of Lifeline Security.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com and check out our business partner page under the link section.
We want to give a big thank you to Gary, our producer here in the studio.
Make sure to
tune in next week. We'll have one of our awesome guests talking about something that will change your life forever.
This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks and aloha!